This is INCRadio, DCEM 954, the voice of truth, the official radio station of the Church of Christ or Iglesianicristo.
With God's help, we become unstoppable. With God's help, everything is possible. All of the accomplishments are remarkable. Others can hate, but they still can't stop it though. We move forward, never ever stumble. With God blessing us, we still stay humble. And through the struggle and all of the trouble, our work we redouble.
Welcome to Unstoppable Purpose and Motion, brought to you by INCRadio, Washington, D.C. This morning, we're talking about having doubts, fears, but doing it anyway, out of courage and trying to step out of our comfort zone. Our panel will share their stories and the lessons we've all learned that keeps us unstoppable. We love for our chat, of course, to join us as well in our discussion because together we can inspire and learn from one another. And at the same time, celebrate the journey we're in. But before we start, who are our panelists today? So I have myself, Nidel, and we also have
Myself, Elisa.
Jaster.
Oh, you rude. And myself, Lionel.
I broke the chain. Sorry.
No,
Broke the chain.
it shows diversity. So that shows that all of our minds are different, right? And I'm excited to know what all of you will have to say about today's topic. So, before we continue with this morning's discussion, let's talk about our previous episode, which was what makes you move.
Ooh.
So it was about like having motivation to do something.
Mhm.
And for me, what stuck out to me was actually Ace Tapang. A shout out to you from Anne Arundel. Hello.
Hashtag Anne Arundel.
So I remember he said something about being grateful. Like in his words, he said, instead of saying I have to do something, say that I get to do something. So it shows lots of gratefulness
Mhm.
whenever you live day by day.
Yeah, and I also remember seeing seeing comments about family, because they're also a good support system. They help you keep going, and even with friends, close family and friends, they help you move forward as well.
Yeah. So what I said last time was like, do something little by little, kind of like a snowball effect,
Mhm.
so that it gets bigger and bigger. You know.
I still
So-
remember what else you said.
Oh yeah. Well, like my knowledge grows that my hair fell out.
Yeah, that's definitely the second thing that stuck out to me. And how about you, Lionel?
So I actually wasn't on air. I was working behind the scenes, but I really liked the
yes.
discussions. One of the things that you also said, Jaster, was that is the speed bumps of life.
Oh
I really
yeah,
like
yeah.
I really like
Mhm.
that term. that you said.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that did stick out to me.
Yeah, like when
too.
you drive and then you have to slow down and go over the speed bump because like those are like the trials and tribulations that you go through in life.
Yeah, and then when if you hit it too hard, then
Then
you
you're
know,
like, oh,
yeah. So that means you gotta enjoy the ride.
Yeah.
Right.
Mhm.
So we also want to shout out to our top comments for that show as well. We actually have someone over there. So we have top comments.
So we had our top comments from last week. We had Sister Alexis Mira. Purpose gives me direction. Purpose has shaped me into the person I need to be to attain what blessings God has in store for me. And then we also had Brother Vincent Thomas. I refuse to quit. Even when the job is difficult and the task feels overwhelming, I will not give in. Before I begin, I pray and meditate because with God's strength, I can endure. Quitting is not an option.
Mm.
Back to you in the studio.
That's so true. What Vincent said. I remember I really emphasized prayer because that's what truly motivated me to keep doing something I was scared to do. And we also had a question from last week that we'll share throughout our topic today actually, and that was, what doubts do you have about yourself and how do you choose to overcome them? And like I said, we'll be sharing them throughout the show. So I'm really excited to hear what they have to say.
Yeah.
So the big question today, last week was motivation, right? So today is courage.
Ooh,
Ooh.
Ooh.
courage.
Think about that right now, right? And for the audience also, please let us know what courage means to you as well. So, what does courage mean to the three of you?
For me, courage, keeping it short, being brave, even if you feel like you're kind of like you have some doubts
Mm-hmm.
on about yourself.
That's true. When I think about what you said, I think about like a roller coaster, right? Like,
Ooh.
who here is like scared of roller coasters at first?
No, not really. I'm really
Admit
excited to
it.
go.
Yeah, me too. You know, we can be truthful on IC Radio, right? Well, I'm gonna say and raise my hand that I am scared of roller coasters at first, probably throughout the entire day. But courage does move me to go on that ride and be like, oh, okay, it's not that bad,
Yeah,
and
it's
that
actually
really
Mhm.
pretty
describes
fun.
life,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
How about you, Jaster?
For me is overcoming the fear of the unknown.
Oh,
Ooh.
that's a really good definition.
Yeah, because like especially like when you're starting a new job or going to school, like for the first, like like for people to go into college for the first time, it's like, oh, I don't know if I'm gonna do well, but like it's overcoming that fear that you will do well.
Yeah,
So yeah,
that's true. Thank you, Jaster. That was really good.
thank you.
How about for you, Michael?
I feel like it's sort of, I guess, like a combination of the two is doing it scared,
Yeah,
doing it
yeah,
even though you're scared,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
because we say the term we muster up the courage to do it even though we're scared, and it's something that if we're um there's this phrase that I heard, it's sort of like video game terms.
Mhm.
If it's not a challenge, then you're going the wrong way.
True.
That's true. That it being scared to do something definitely represents, oh, I'm about to grow into something that I want to be. And I feel like I say that to myself a lot when I'm at work. I talk about work all the time because I'm just not good at it yet. I just started working like not that long ago, but um and you know, now I want to ask all of you, what doubts do you have about yourself and what or how do you plan to overcome them? Are there any
Mm.
is there anything that comes to the back of your mind, like your experiences that come to you?
Recently, shout out Temple Hills Kadiwa. We've had a conversation recently about our interests, and I shared that I do like capturing moments. I like to take videos and also pictures, but recently I kind of stopped vlogging and creating videos because a part of me is also kind of scared to start again.
Mhm.
I don't know, some a part of me is like, oh, I don't really have that creativity right now,
Mm.
so that's what I'm kind of like, I'm doubting myself with that.
Oh no. So what do you plan to do?
um Courage. No, I have friends that do create videos, and just seeing them, they don't really have to tell me to do it again, but just seeing the videos they have, I'm kind of like, oh, being I kind of want to start doing like creating my
That's
videos again.
good. So you're saying that your friends encourage you
Mhm.
to do better, not because there's competition.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I feel like another thing with courage is, don't do something that obviously will hurt you.
Yeah.
There's a difference, right? Between like risking your life to do something big you want to do. Does that make sense?
Yeah, yeah,
Mhm.
yeah.
And then actually doing something, like for example, um let's see. Oh, um okay, I had something in mind, but I can't think of it. Okay, when it comes back to me, I'll say it. um, how about for you, Lionel?
Um, for Sorry, what was the question? I got so like drawn into
It's
what the
okay.
answers were.
Did you have any doubts about yourself before
Oh yeah.
that? That all right, next
Myself in
question.
All
general.
right, yes. For me, it was when I started in I guess it's sort of still happening now, is when I'm growing my career.
Mm,
When I first got into the workforce out of school, I was like, I don't think I know everything. Like
Yeah.
I don't. It's really that what's it called? Imposter syndrome.
Oh,
Like
yeah.
do I really belong here? Do I really
True.
have what it takes in order to keep up with my coworkers?
Mm-hmm.
But I think what we talked about in a previous episode was comparing our beginning to someone's middle. It's just something that we shouldn't really be doing.
Yeah.
Yeah. I actually have we actually have viewers response. We have from brother Rolando Gonzalez. He said doubts about myself. There are times where I feel like I do not deserve to be paid or recognized for my work, although others say that I am good at what I do.
Mm.
Sometimes my mind tells me it's not true and that there's someone who could have done better. And he said, how I overcome self doubt, I learned that there will always be someone who is better than me at something. However, as long as I love what I do and it helps others, I should be proud of my work. Loved ones remind me that the journey to get to a certain point is already a huge accomplishment on its own. I also like to recall the phrase comparison is a thief of joy.
Yes, I do want to
Mm.
add on to that as well. Is that God put us in that situation for a reason,
Yep,
Mm.
for
exactly.
us
Yeah.
to be able to grow, to like continue on our journey according to His plan.
Mm.
So it's something I think we should all also remember is it's all according to God's plan.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's so true. And then you start to reflect that it was truly a blessing that
Mhm.
you have gone through that.
Yeah.
And that's why you all are here today.
Yeah.
I'm scared of being right here in this chair. And have you ever, stepped out of your comfort zone and you were glad that you did? Hmm. Anything that pops up to mind? For me, I actually play piano or organ to be specific. And I remember my very first recital. It was so scary. Everybody, they start from for recitals. They start with the very level one kids who
Mhm.
don't know much, and then they start out with like the bigger kids who know a lot of like piano theory and all that stuff. And I remember I was like, I don't know if I could do this. Like you're in front of like hundreds of people and
Mhm.
you're say I think I was like 8 years old. And my mom's like, you could do it. She was my motivation, along with my other family members. And as soon as I sat in that chair, I felt like there was no one there. It was
Oh.
Oh,
yeah. Have you ever felt that feeling when you're doing something and then
Yeah.
you have that like bravery and courage at the
Yeah.
moment?
mhm.
Um, but yeah, if I were to tell myself back then, like advice, I'd be like, just pray. God,
Yeah.
and
Right.
anything that you do, you can pray to God and He'll listen.
Mhm.
And I can definitely say at that moment, I felt like I did like so good. I was
Aw.
pat my younger self in the back.
Aw, yeah.
Yeah, so yeah, that was a really great recital. And now I am an organist inside the Church of Christ. And thank you so much.
I really like your playing, by the way.
Yeah.
Oh, thank that's all to God. That's really all God. And and I literally like remember that all throughout my life and anything that I do because something that big at that time in my life is big. And even if it's a small thing now, like
Mhm.
it helps me remember, oh, I can do it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's true. I feel like for me it was I about INCRadio. I remember during pandemic time I was very shy. Well, I've always been shy to talk to people. And
Mm.
so I was like, how can I do INCRadio and I can't even talk? And especially with the pandemic time, you're like
Oh
Yeah.
you're
yeah.
not really interacting with much
Yeah.
people. So it was kind of hard. Like you're connecting with people through the screen. So um later on, of course, you have to have that courage. You have to do it, especially because it's you want to also improve yourself.
Yeah.
So I'm glad I did that. So
And you're really good. You're a really great
Yeah.
conversationalist, actually.
stop, guys.
No,
One of our INC radio
Host.
hosts.
Yeah.
Hey.
no, truly, if you really go back to previous episodes with Elisa, she has grown so much, and that should be like the motivation for all of you, because you are. I salute you. You're awesome.
Stop. Thank you, though. Okay, moving on.
Yeah, because also for my INC radio, it's like I used to be just a guest all the time back in the what was that during COVID
I think
also?
so. Yeah.
Mm.
Like you're like, oh, do you know anything about computers? And I was like, I know a little bit. And then from there we had like a whole panel like of me being the host, and then we had like all these other panelists of like computer experts. Well, not really experts per se, but
Tech
who
savvy people.
tech savvy people.
Yeah.
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 But yeah, that was fun. And then now I'm here as a panelist on INC Radio.
Yay. And
Yeah.
we have like I keep emphasizing like our friendships have grown
No, yeah.
over
Yeah.
time,
Mhm.
and I never regret it.
Like we're really
ever.
meant to be where we are right now.
Yeah.
Oh, friendships.
All part of God's plan.
It is.
There you
Everything
go.
is God's plan. And what small fear would you guys or would you all like to overcome next?
So just recently, I've been put up for promotion at work,
Ooh.
and it's a leadership role. And
Ooh.
Wow.
I really was like, I don't know if I'm ready for a leadership type role. Um, but I called my wife and like asked for guidance, like, hey, is this okay? Will I be able to do this kind of thing? And she's like, just pray, and I'm pretty sure that you'll be able to fulfill whatever you need to at your
Yeah.
position.
I mean, that opportunity was given to you for a reason, you know?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And my wife was like, well, you've coached like volleyball all this time, and you have good leadership skills and stuff like that. So I'm really just praying to God that he'll give me the knowledge that I need.
I truly
I
believe.
think you'll
Yeah.
do great.
Thanks.
Yeah, you'll do great.
Yeah. And how about for Elisa or Lionel? Is there something that you're afraid of doing, but you plan on taking the next step for it?
So a little backstory for this one. Um, so I used to do choreographed dance for church activities.
No way.
Ooh.
Sample.
No sample, no sample. No sample, no sample.
Quick dance.
Not really. But I started like a long time ago because my friends were getting into it, and I was like, that looks fun. I think those that we surround ourselves with really do influence what we get into, and so all my church friends seemed like they were having fun. When watching their performances, it looked fun. So I'm like, okay. I got the courage to go up to one of my friends, like, hey, can I join the next one? So that was like decades ago. I'm not going to say how old I am. But I think like something that I think would be fun now is especially seeing like some of the big productions that our church has put on. For example, the 110th anniversary celebration that we did last year, like the big on-stage celebrations.
Mhm.
One of our future activities later as well is putting on musicals as well, and it's something that unfortunately I wasn't able to join this one. I just opted to join behind the scenes, but trying to be more out there,
Mhm.
gain more experience, gain more of that stories, because um it's the things that happen to us now is what we're going to be telling our kids and our grandkids.
Oh yeah,
And
definitely.
for us to be, to grow up to be, um in my opinion, as strong members of the Church of Christ,
Mhm.
is being able to have these stories to pass down to
Mm-hmm.
the next generation. It doesn't even have to be our own kids. It could be the next set of members that are coming in.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we also have a response from Sister Grace Galarpe. She said, doubt is normal and everyone goes through it. We have to understand and deal with it calmly. Do not be afraid to explore our doubts and entrust everything to God. By the time we learn and let it go, then we can find greater peace in intellectual, emotional, much more of spiritual.
Yeah, that's very
Mm.
true. Do you all feel like at the end of something you've overcame, don't you think about like, oh wow, God really did help
Yeah.
me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you have those like,
It's like,
The
Yeah,
oh,
it's like,
jitters. Yeah.
whoa.
Yeah.
and I just feel like I'm always being like embraced by God whenever
Yeah.
you overcome those things.
Especially when it's a situation you thought you would never overcome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like having faith overcomes doubt kind of thing, right?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yes.
Mhm.
And you know, what you know, what role does courage play in your every life decision though?
Not
Going to
going.
work? No, I'm just kidding.
Role that play a role. What role does courage play? I think, not gonna lie, I do it for the like what we're talking about. We share so we can share stories to other people. I
Yeah.
feel like if you're scared to do something but you end up doing it, you're like, this will be a moment I can share with others.
Yeah.
This will be a good story.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the character development.
I'm kind of scared, but I'll do it for the story.
This is my story.
No, but
So it's like that's what is it that um online joke where it's like, so you're probably wondering how he got here.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
yeah, those
That's
are
true.
those are always
Yeah.
really funny.
Yeah.
But then at the end of it, you always get inspired,
Mhm.
Yeah.
right? And you have those those people who encourage you to be like kind of like them. Like for example, I have um my mother is actually someone who I look up to all the time, and whenever I have doubts about things I cannot do, she's always saying, you're my daughter. If I did it, you could do it.
Yeah.
There you go.
We love supportive parents.
Yeah.
And their stories truly encouraged me a lot because, you know, in the beginning of our like financial situation before, we were like, the most, financially risen. I can't think of the word, but we didn't have a lot of money, if that makes sense. And we still don't have a lot of money. But I would just like to say that God blessed us when we overcame those obstacles. Um, it's never the end. So that's something that pushed me to be better, if that makes
Mhm.
sense.
Hmm.
And is there someone in your life that actually encourages you or something?
Yeah.
Mm.
My family and my friends. I always say it. Shout out to my family. Shout out to my friends. But this time, I'll talk about my friends. I love my family. Love you guys. But my friends. We don't really talk every day. We don't hang out every day. But when we do, there's always that encouragement. That because when you haven't been with each other in a while, you give life updates, you tell them what you're going through, and then later on, the conversation just gets deeper. And then later in that conversation, they give you that encouragement, that motivation to
Mhm.
like, oh, we know you can do it, and we know you're the type of person that will overcome the situation. So yeah.
That's good. How about for the both of you?
For me, I'm gonna say it's a lot, but it's gonna be my wife because she's my best friend.
Aw.
But you'll learn that since you're newlywed, you'll learn that like that your significant other will be your best friend and your motivational speaker kind of thing, your cheerleader in life kind of way.
That's good.
Um, but she also like puts me in the right path kind of thing. Like if I have a doubt about myself, then she's like, hey, don't think about that.
Mm.
It's
So
one of your biggest cheerleaders,
yeah.
or the only cheerleader. Yes.
And like I feel like they know you the most, no?
Yes,
Yeah.
I would say so. Yeah. How about for you, Lionel?
For me, I'd like to give a shout out to my parents because I feel like I kind of got characteristics from both of them,
Mm.
and with how we go through life and how how we think about things. I think it's I can really attribute to what they have taught me in accordance to the teachings that we've been taught in from the church administration and in the Church of Christ. All, of course, all according to what God has taught to all of us. And hearing their stories and living for part of what they went through, because I grew up in the Philippines for a bit. They were doing stuff over there, and then when coming over here as well, like what you've mentioned also before, is growing up, not a lot of money, but there's always like that trust in God that, to give us the courage and the faith to see things through.
Yeah.
Mm.
And to have the needs that we have.
Yeah.
Yeah. What we need.
So thank you to our parents. And thank you
Yeah.
to Lionel's parents as well.
Yeah. For bringing him here.
Thanks to God for bringing me here.
Yeah.
and it yes. And it really is important, like who you surround yourself with.
For sure, yeah.
Because if you surround yourself with people who have negative views in life all the time, how is that going to encourage you to be a better person and to
Yeah.
live in the way that God wants you to live?
Mhm.
Right. So that's something that my parents have always told me: surround yourself with good people, like-minded people who live in a Christian way of living, because that's what really helps you remember your purpose in
Mhm.
life
hmm
and to push through anything that may be difficult, like what we've been talking about this morning. So before we end today's show, though,
Oh,
I know.
Man.
I know you three already gave your special greetings, but is there anybody else that you like to give a shout out to? Or are you okay?
Yeah. I can shout out all my friends and family in New Jersey. So
Shout out to your
shout out
friends
to
in New Jersey. Woo!
New Jersey.
How about Eliza or Lionel?
Shout out to my family and friends again.
yeah, I would like to give a shout out again to my parents, brother Arnell and sister Riz from Montclair, Orange County, California. I'm not sure which camera.
Yay, mom and dad.
Yeah, mom and dad.
Thank you so much for talking more about courage and what experiences that you've had in life. And before we wrap up, we want to hear from you. For next week's episode, we will talk about building habits that keep you going even when the fire fades. Our question for you is: what do you think is more important, discipline or motivation, and why? Please send your responses in our live chat, or please send us a direct message so that next week we may feature them in our next broadcast. And for our viewers today, we may stumble, we may pause, but with God's help and with the strength that He has given us, we rise. We continue to press onward, and that is what makes us
Unstoppable.
Right. Before we go, we like to extend our heartfelt thanks to those who make it all possible for their unstoppable support. We like to thank our INCRadio Washington, D.C. family for supporting our broadcasts, and especially to Brother Sidney R. Santos, our district supervising minister, Brother Richard Soterio, our assistant district minister, Brother Audrey Dulai, our district CFO overseer, Brother Tyler Worthen, our district multimedia advisor, Brother Emmanuel Andaya, our executive producer, Brother Wali Taray, our station manager, our dedicated INC Radio Kuyatex here and in the Philippines and behind the TV. Brother Marvin. And special thanks to Brother Angelo Iranio V. Manalo, our Deputy Executive Minister. We would like to give our special thanks to Brother Eduardo V. Manalo, our Executive Minister of the iglesianicristo Church of Christ, for allowing us to always have programs like today's show here on INC Radio. Thank you so much again for tuning in and spending part of your day with us. If you like today's show, please be sure to give us a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button like right now so you never miss out on what's coming next. Until then, catch us again next week right here on Unstoppable Purpose in Motion, presented by INC Radio, Washington, D.C. Satellite Studio, every Saturday at 10:30 a.m. Eastern Time. And remember, stay inspired, stay connected, and most of all, stay
Unstoppable.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.
With God's help, we become unstoppable. With God's help, everything is possible. All of the accomplishments are remarkable. Others can't hate. Can't stop it though. We move forward, never ever stumble. With God blessing us, we still stay humble. And through the struggle and all of the trouble, our work we redouble. Through the good and the bad,
We remain victorious. We return all the praises to a God so glorious.